So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jorge Ventura. Welcome to another episode of Talking with Jorge. I have a special guest here today from AV Boga. I have Alejandro Castillo, right?
Yes, sir.
And Yvonne. Yvonne, what's your last name? I forgot your last name.
Smiles.
Smiles, for reals?
No, my last name's Yvonne Moreno.
Moreno, that's right. But no eres morena. Eres bien clarita, bien blanquita.
I don't know.
Huh? Where'd that come from? Huh?
My parents just never taught me Spanish.
¿O no hablas español?
No hablo
A
español.
little.
Poquito.
Yeah.
Corona, burritos, tacos,
Burritos.
cervezas,
Yeah.
margaritas.
Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves y viernes.
So today we're here and we're going to talk about your nonprofit organization,
Yes.
right, which is called AV Boga, right, Alejandro?
Yes.
So do me a favor, tell me what is AV Boga? What does it stand for?
So AV Boga stands for Antelope Valley Boots on the Ground Alliance. And I know it's a long one. That's why we use acronyms. Like in the military, we're used to using acronyms. And AV Boga became very catchy. So everyone starts using AV Boga.
Oh, okay. And why AV Boga?
So the reason why we did, let's do Boga first, Boots on the Ground Alliance, is because myself and Yvonne, we have close to 10 years working with nonprofits, more specific in the veteran world. And her and I, we have something in common that we like to work hands-on. You know, we don't like to, be behind a cubicle computer and not be hands-on. So we like to do boots on the ground. And we threw the word alliance in there because we've noticed that when you meet a lot of organizations and or nonprofits, they tend not to communicate. So we try to bring that in and have a collaboration and alliance. And the AV, it stands for Antelope Valley because this is our foundation here in the Antelope Valley. When it comes to working with veterans, nonprofits, the only way to bring the collaboration and alliance together is to do events. And that's our main core mission with AV Boga. We do events, name it, we do it. We've done retirement party, Halloween parties, and one of our big ones is in every March that we do. And we take advantage of it, and we bring other organizations or entrepreneurs as well to set a table there and just talk about what they do. And we let all the guests know, hey, we have so-and-so at the table, go swing by, say hello, and so have them talk about their organization and nonprofit.
You know, I was very fortunate the last couple of years to attend one of your events, the one that you do in March, and it was very well attended, and the first year was really good. The second year was even better. And is this your third year coming up?
The one that just passed was our third year.
That was the third year.
Correct.
And that was even better than the first one,
Yes.
and I really enjoyed it. I like to see all the military personnel there. Everyone's a book. Everyone has a story.
Everyone.
And when they went up there and they were talking on the microphone, because you had some keynote speakers, it brought tears to my eyes. It's very touchy to hear these guys. I attended one, and every year gets better than the previous year. And it's a great event, and it's going to grow to even a bigger event. I know that 2 years ago, it was on Channel 7 News.
Yes, the first year.
The first year?
3 years ago, correct.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was ABC, correct.
Yeah, it was ABC. And so when is the next one coming up?
Yeah, it's going to be March of 2025.
March 29th.
Yeah, 29th. That's tentatively because we're coordinating. Hopefully, they have a different venue, a bigger one. Usually, we do it at Ponce Square here in the city of Ponce. Everybody loves it. It works. But we're noticing the crowd keeps growing and growing every year, so we want to make sure we accommodate. So, yeah.
You can pack it in there.
We can, like you did with the taco.
At Taco Festival.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we had 6,500 people in there that day,
Yeah,
It was
that
really good.
It was.
good.
Yeah,
That was fun.
yeah.
The important thing about next year for March 29th is a very important day. A few years ago, the president signed in to make March 29th a National Vietnam Day. So that's the reason why we do the Welcome Home every March. We try to do as close as the 29th, but sometimes it's impossible because of the day that falls. But next year is an actual Saturday. So we want to make it March 29th the actual day. So we're looking forward to it. And like Yvonne said, we're trying to look for a bigger venue, involved Lancaster as well, because we are Antelope Valley boots on the ground. So we want to try to involve Lancaster and Palmdale so they could collaborate together and have this bigger event for the Vietnam vets.
Yeah, and the cool thing is we don't have to reach out to the city of Lancaster and Palmdale. Like, they know who we are and what we do and how we represent veterans and trying to create events for the veterans. So they reach out to us, and most recently, city of Lancaster. So we have those connections and those opportunities kind of lining up to make it a better event. So it's not just us, and that just kind of goes towards our goal of being an alliance. We welcome everybody's resources and everybody to, kind of join and help us plan it. So it just keeps getting better. Like you said, the third one so far was the best one, which is good to hear, because it's a different committee every year.
It's funny because we, I was facilitating it, and I was the MC that day, and I had the tunnel vision, right? You know how it is when the day of you have this tunnel vision, right? And I got home after the event, and I took a long nap because I was exhausted. And not into the following day on Sunday evening, I realized I was getting hundreds of text messages, pictures, and I didn't realize how of a crowd came. And I still was immune to it because I was still recuperating because I was so tired. Finally, I texted him like, wow. This was a good event. I was looking at the pictures. Shout out to Doc that he had a lot of photographers there, and he took awesome pictures.
He did a podcast.
He did a podcast in the canopy as well. He has his MC, 1775 Patriots. So he had a lot of his people just take awesome pictures. And that's what made me open up and realize, wow, there was a lot of people that day.
Yeah.
When
you're coordinating the event and when you're in it, you're just focused on getting all of the details done. And you don't really see what's going on around you, and that's kind of what it was for us. For me, I know when I coordinate it and when I'm in there, I'm like, I get kind of stressed out.
Really?
And I'm sure you know what we're talking about because you just finished your big event a couple weekends ago, right?
You want to make sure everything's perfect. Yeah, and for this being our third one, and we have new volunteers each year. We have different organizations each year, so we have to explain the mission to each organization each year, what we're trying to do and accomplish. So it was.
So mission. What is AV Boga's mission?
Mission is collaboration and alliance. And how do we include that collaboration alliance to do events? To the events, bring out, hey, who wants to set up a table? What do you do? Well, I do X, Y, and Z. Okay, good to go. We're doing this event. I'm going to throw an example. It's a retirement party. Well, what do you do? Well, I do 401k or I do insurance and all that. Well, come on by so you can start talking to people. We do that. That's our main core, that collaboration. Because, like I said before, we noticed that, there's not a lot of communication within other organizations, nonprofit. So for people to see, oh, you do this, oh, you do that, oh, okay, now they can put a face to the organization, nonprofit.
So, how can the community help collaborate? How can the community, us nonprofits, the Ventura Foundation, how can we help AV Boga?
The way they can help is to spread the word. For example, if we already announce an upcoming event, just help us spread the word. And if they want to be involved in part of the committee, they're more than two. Because one thing that we do is an AV Boga committee. We're a very diverse group. Just because our biggest event is the Welcome Home Vietnam, a veteran event, doesn't mean that we only do veteran events. We do also community events. We help out this past Christmas. We helped out give out backpacks and toys for the community, and our committee is very diverse when it comes to real estate agents, loan officers, someone that has a balloon business, everybody that brings different expertise to the team, and that's the best. Yeah. Because if you have only, let's say, Alejandro only has veteran committee, so it's only one thought process. We want to bring different type of intelligence, not only one type of tunnel vision. So that's what we do.
Yeah, and there's different events. We don't only do events. As he said, we both have been a nonprofit for a long time. And so we see the gaps in the community and the gaps in the programs. And so we're like, okay, we are a 501c3. So that gives us the ability to kind of read between the lines and see what's needed out there, and like maybe we can do a proposal for something else. Maybe there's other, there's other programs in the community that we want to, touch base with and see how we can work with them to make it work better to fill the gaps. I know there's one organization has, events, and we're like, hey, like how can we help? Like even the young Marines, they take them to encampments, to Camp Pendleton, to field trips, and a lot of times they don't have the resources. Several times they're like, we need a van, like how can AV Boots on the Ground help us? And we're like, you know what, we need a vehicle, not only for this, but there's so many veterans in the area who need transportation to go to the VA, to go to extracurricular activities. There's so many things that the Antelope Valley veteran community needs that the resources aren't out here. So how can we help with our events to raise money, and with our, the other things that we do? I don't know if you want to talk about it.
So the other things that we do, part of the event planning, because we do events, right? Because on the side, I also have two businesses. I run a photo booth business and an embroidery business. So we implement that to our nonprofit when it comes to getting funds. So if someone wants to hire the photo booth or something, I told them, you know what? My labor's for free. Just donate the photo booth to AV Boga. Here's the QR code. Just donate it.
Yeah.
And I'll do my labor for free. And that's how I gain some of my funds.
Yeah.
And the same thing as the embroidery.
Yeah, and so when people see like, oh, AV Boga, there's a photo booth on their Instagram, like how is that an event? What does that do? Well, the photo booth is a fund generator for us. So instead of the money going into his pocket for his business, he donates it to, for the events. The Welcome Home events have been funded by him. By him, yeah. And I mean, we've got a couple small grants, but it doesn't cover the funds.
Yeah, that's a lot of people assume that the other people fund it, but in reality, it's like I do save the money and I fund it. If there's something missing, I'm like, okay, well, this is for this.
Yeah.
So we incorporate our own funds.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a misconception. People think, well, City of Lancaster or City of Palmdale pays for all of the events for AV Boga. No, it's not that way. Like, we raise the funds for every single event. So, boots on the ground, like founder and co-founder, we make sure that we're out there at every event. We're there, we're making our faces known, we're shaking the hands of the veterans, talking to them, having conversations, and just,
Yeah.
trying to make a difference.
Yeah, I understand how that works because, we do a lot of events ourselves too, the Ventura Foundation. And a lot of people think that, the AV Taco Festival, the, Cesar Chavez Day, it's a city event, and it's a private event.
Yes.
That, we found ourselves, Ventura Graphics, funded most of the Taco Festival. We did have, 2 or 3 sponsors that helped out, but most of the funds up front were paid by Ventura Graphics.
So you know exactly where we're
Yeah.
coming from.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fundraise. It's a lot of time
it's
and
a
effort
lot.
to raise that money.
Yeah.
And so for
Yeah.
us, especially for the Welcome Home Vietnam Veteran Ceremony, we provide a meal for the veterans, and we provide so many. Every year it's different things that we give them, and so we want to make it better every year. And if if the veterans and the community want to give our veterans at the Welcome Home ceremony a better experience, well, you're more than welcome to donate.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to donate, because you can be a part of making it a better experience every time.
Yeah.
And the way they could donate is they could easily go on avboga.org and just click donation, and they could go ahead.
I could donate that, yeah. I see what you guys did at the last 3 events. I like the fact that you bring all the veterans and you sit them inside the square, and then the volunteers serve them a meal, right? They don't have to get up to get anything. They want coffee, water, cookies, whatever they want. It's brought to them. You make them feel very special.
100%. And we purposely do that. We get a lot of phone calls from Vietnam veterans say, I would like to volunteer. Those are the times that I'm proud to say no, because I said, no, it's your day.
We want to
You
serve
are sitting down and you're getting spoiled that day. But I want to volunteer. No. So that's the only time that I'm proud to say no. I want to be part of the ride-along, because we also have a ride-along. Again, the Patriots, Doc with his MC, they have awesome bikes, and he quarterbacks the convoy. We get a double decker for the Vietnam vets, and I told him, no, you are not. If you could ride, you want to ride, go for it, but you are not volunteering. The different era, and the youngsters will volunteer and serve you, because a little bit of history. When the Vietnam, all the brothers and sisters that came home, back in the day, they were not welcome home the proper way. I'm a veteran, and I went to Iraq. When I came home, I was on a silver platter. I was welcome home. I was a hero, so it felt good. When I started working with the nonprofits and I started doing trauma-informed workshops, I had a lot of students that were Vietnam veterans. And the number one question they were asking me, Alejandro, why won't we welcome the proper way? I didn't have an answer. I'm like, the only thing I was able to is apologize, because it was a different mindset, different time. So fast forward, City of Palmdale did this certified applied positive psychology class. It's a 6-8 months course, right? And part of the graduation, where we had to do a activity. So that's where the Welcome Home Vietnam came to and I suggested, hey man, you know what I'm just telling you right now, I remember we were in a dinner table and I was, bringing it up, and we're like, well, let's do this. Let's do the Welcome Home. And it was successful.
Yeah.
And I was able to branch it out and make it our own, the AV Boga. And that's how the Welcome Home came to about, and then AV Boga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool because it's not only about making an event for the veterans, it's educating the community. Because the volunteers, every year it's different. And every year the volunteers are like, oh, we want to help. But when they're in there and they're seeing the expressions on the veterans' faces, they're shaking their hands and they're seeing, oh my gosh, this is bigger than just an event. This is an actual experience. A positive psychology experience where we're giving them a new experience so they can not forget how they were welcomed home, but see, like, we recognize and let's be a part of that better experience for you. And for everybody to be a part of that, like, it's huge. We have teachers coming to us volunteering. They're having their classroom make little banners like welcome home. Students are there, the Boy Scouts. Like, it's an experience for everybody.
It's funny, a little story. The second year, AV Boga came to life, and we were quarterbacking it ourselves. I'm like, okay, how is this going to do it? I'll be honest with you, I was very, very nervous. And I was working with a nonprofit, and they sent me to some school in, I forgot, I didn't want to say Virginia or Oakland. I forgot where it was. So I was done with my class, and I wanted to go shopping because, I wear cowboy boots, right? So I'm like, oh, let's go to Boot Barn. Let me order Uber. So I was in the Uber going to the place, and I was in my phone call with one of my coworkers, and we were talking about this event, and we were speaking veteran lingo. If you're a veteran, we have a certain lingo. We use acronyms and all that. So as soon as I hung up, and I went on my business. And the driver started staring at me through his mirror, and he's like, sir, may I ask you something? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Do you work with veterans? I was overhearing your conversation. I'm like, yeah. What are you doing right now? I heard you're planning an event. And I started telling him what I just told you guys. And he started crying. And he said, that's what he said. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt when I was there on the other side of the fence. I was watching you guys, and, I got teary eyes. And I said, why have I never been involved? How come I wasn't? And there's no excuse why I shouldn't be involved now. It's never too late. I'm not a veteran, so I was never involved in the military, anything like that. But that doesn't say that I cannot help and participate.
100%.
And so, I wanted to do this podcast with you guys because I wanted to educate our listeners what it is that you do and what's out there, and get more people involved.
Correct. So the welcome home, it's a key word, because a lot of people, when they see Vietnam veterans, the norm thing to say is, thank you for your service. But the Vietnam veterans, history tells us, right, that they were not welcome home the proper way. They never had that true welcome home. The positivity, the positive tears, the happy tears, So think about it. The Vietnam War was over in 1975, okay? So the average Vietnam veteran came home started a family, started what was popular back then, the union works, the factories, right? They started working their factories with their union, and they forgot about the negativity. It was still there in the back of your brain, but fast forward, they're all retired 30 years later, 35 years later. And all that things that they haven't been addressed came back after retirement because they had nothing but time. And now they realize, wow, we never had this proper welcome home. So a lot of people tell me, and Yvonne's like, well, cool, you did a welcome home, good. You're not doing it next year, right? No, we're going to do it. Yeah. We're going to do it. We owe these Vietnam veterans so many years of welcome home. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And while AV Boga is still alive, we're going to do a welcome home every year. Because these ladies and Vietnam men, they deserve this welcome home. So that's the reason why we like to educate the people, because it's something missing, so.
Right. So, I have a lot of contacts. So let me know how we can help you.
Yeah, definitely. Okay? Appreciate you.
I have, a lot of food vendors. We had 125 vendors at the Taco Festival. I know you had your booth there. You partner up with Edgar.
Yes.
And you had your photo booth there, and it was fun. People were stopping by and taking pictures. I stopped by, and the little girl,
Oh, you guys picture?
Yeah. The little girl was very nice. She asked, "You want to take your picture?" Yeah, and she had me and do my smile and stuff like that, right? But if you need any vendors, anything like that, just reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll
appreciate you guys. Yeah, appreciate it.
I'm a team player. I believe that we're all team players here. We're all in the same boat. Our goals are all the same. There's no competitors here. Yeah. There's plenty for all of us to enjoy.
100%. I've told several organizations, like, hey, man, if we have the same mission, let's work together. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that we have to, have drinks afterwards, but if we have a mission, let's work together. Let's show the community that we are one.
Right.
It's for the veterans.
It's for the veterans, and it's for the community.
It's for the community.
Because I honestly believe this Vietnam, not only is for the Vietnam veterans, obviously, but it's for the education to the community, the younger crowd. I don't know what they're teaching history nowadays, right? But when I was growing up, I remember in junior high, the Vietnam War in history class was huge. And obviously, it's in the early 90s, right? But now I don't know what history.
I don't remember ever learning about their welcome home. I don't remember learning about how they were welcomed home. The first time I ever heard, even working with veterans this long, I've never heard about that until this event.
Yeah. And the average age of a Vietnam veteran is 68.
Yeah.
So let's just say we do this for the next 10 years. The average age is 78 now, and fast forward 10 years, it's.
And people come, like we've had people come from Nevada, Arizona, Kern County, all over the place. They're coming because they're like, this event's different. There's other welcome home. It's like there's ceremonies or presentations, in different places, but it's not like ours. Ours is different. We have a convoy. We have, not to say ours is better, it's different. It's put together differently. And, like he was saying in the certification in applied positive psychology class, we were taught a lot of different things. And one of them was rewriting, not to say that we're going to try to erase the memory that how they were welcome home, but it takes several different experiences for somebody to finally have a positive memory of something negative that happened to them, to rewrite it. So for a Vietnam veteran to always think, I'm just not worthy, I'm not important, I'm not like the Operation Iraqi Freedom veterans, I'm not as important as them, there's still several out there that believe that. They don't want to even say that they're a veteran. So when they come to this event and they're like, okay, fine, I'll go. Some of them have to be convinced, like, just come and see. They come and they're like, wow, I didn't know I had to experience it. Pastor Ken Hart over at the Highlands Church, he was he was one of our speakers for this year's event. And after the event, he said, you know what, I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I experienced this, and I didn't think that I had to come. I was like, oh, I don't need that. And he had tears in his eyes, and he said, when I came here and I saw this, it's so emotional, and I realized, wow, like this is something that actually helped me. So thank you for putting this event on. And so over and over again, every year, like we'll just keep doing it, making it better, and hopefully with the supportive resources like yourself and the community, we can make it better.
One thing that I want to make it bigger is involve businesses. and how the business can get involved is going back. We do a convoy, right? We have a route. We go up Sierra Highway. We turn left on, what's that street? I always forget. So many letters on the
Highway?
streets. Sierra Highway. Yes, and for businesses to be out there and each corner and just have posters and just say representative business so-and-so is at this corner, Sierra Highway and so, because when the whole convoy comes, the sheriffs, the motorcycles, the lowriders, the double-decker, everyone's there. They will see these signs. Not only everybody's at the, let's say, for example, this year at the Ponce and Lot Squares, but they're also in the streets, in the public streets, cheering them on, wearing their business attire, high schools, wearing their football jersey, cheerleading outfit, volleyball uniform, just to know that everyone is aware of the Vietnam, the welcome home. And that's what I'm trying to push for next year, to have more crowd while the convoy is coming along. So if any businesses out there, they want to collaborate, just reach out to avboga1775@gmail.com.
And it's a big deal for, for businesses, for people to know, oh, this business is here, and they have all their staff there holding a welcome home sign, like this business supports veterans. People want to know that, we're in a veteran community. We have Edwards Air Force Base, like we have a huge number of veterans out here, and I don't think people realize how much support is needed for our veterans out here.
Right, yeah. So what else are you working on? What else is AV Boga working on?
Right now, we're trying to, since Antelope Valley is within the LA County, we're trying to also incorporate the Boga a little bit below. So we're trying to incorporate other activities as well. We're working on a grant right now, crossing our fingers it goes through. We don't want to really jinx it and talk about it. But if it goes through, it will be a huge, huge grant within the LA County. So that would be like, okay. High five, Yvonne. We're good. We're good,
And it's something different. Like I said, we've worked in nonprofit for several years, and we've seen the gaps. So this grant that we're working on with LA County, I'm sorry.
So,
This grant that we're working on, it's something totally different than events. Like I said, boots on the ground, we address the community. We want to help the veterans in the community, and not just events. You know what I mean? So this thing that we're working on, it's really exciting, and it's going to kind of open up people's perspective, like, wow, this is what they were doing in the background. This is how else they wanted to help the veterans. This is what, they have up their sleeve. It's not just, let's just do this event once a year. Let's do, photo booth. Let's do this. Like, no, we have a mission and a goal to make a difference.
Because my thing is, going to school, learning some, my degree is like, everywhere you go, there's a problem, right? There's a problem. You address the problem. But if you listen to someone say the problem without a solution, now you're just complaining, Right. So if you're going to give me a problem, please tell me the solution, So working with the Antelope Valley with several nonprofits, like she said, we saw missing gaps. It doesn't take a rocket science to know what's missing, what lacks. That's easy. But what are we going to do about it?
Right.
We could easily talk hours and hours about what's missing, but what are we going to do about it? Am I going to do something? Is she going to do something? Or are you going to do something?
And we are. We definitely are. There's so much behind the scenes. Like, we're not just doing photo booth and coordinating this event. We're writing grant proposals. We're reaching out to organizations. We're having Zoom meetings. We're creating things and building. And, we're not just an event. Like, we're definitely growing. And,
Right.
It's exciting.
Well, I'm glad that you guys came here and spent some time with me and talk about this so you can educate me and the listeners what's going on, what AV Boga is about. And, I'd like to do it again if we can. Maybe we can meet here once a month and we can talk about and update us on what's going on.
And this is a perfect example because, Yvonne, she's the co-founder, and people assume that she's a veteran. She's not a veteran. She's
I'm
just
a veteran of the Antelope Valley. I was born here, so I'm a veteran.
She's a veteran within the Antelope Valley. But that proves that you don't need to be a veteran to be involved in a veteran organization. So I really appreciate you inviting us and talk about this event and what AV Boga is all about, because like you said, knowledge and education within that world, it's not out there so much. And involving, non-veterans, AV Boga, we love doing that. We're like, hey man, this is what's going on. We're doing this. We like to collaborate. So.
Well, great. So, thank you. And, I want you guys to mark your calendars for March 29th, 2025, right?
Correct.
It's the next event, Welcome Home. I really encourage you guys to come. You haven't attended. It's something special. It's an experience, that my wife and I went through when we went to your event. And I'm like, wow, I really want to get involved in this. I want to be part of it. And I like to invite, all of our customers, the vendors that we use our events, to be part of this event. Be part of it and experience it. Also, AV Boga, it's a great event. I want to say, thank you guys. And, let's do it again. Let's come back again, sometime next month, and maybe it's a monthly thing that we can do, and update us on.
Yeah, let us know, and I appreciate it because, as you can tell, when I talk about the welcome, I'm very passionate. Like that's my baby, and I take a lot of pride because I found a missing gap that was needed, and like you said, you've been to every year, and thank you for being there, and you see it grow, and not grow as in popularity. No, it's grow as in educating the people and other Vietnam veterans, knowing that we're having that event.
Right.
So that's just a plus to AV Boga.
Yeah.
And it's also important too, I know we're ending here, but I just wanted to say it's important too because, working in a nonprofit and being involved in a committee, it's free. It's all free, right? Nobody gets paid. And so he is very, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh God, here we go.
It's really important to know, like, as you guys can see, he's really passionate about this. So to work with somebody who's passionate about what they believe in, and they have a nonprofit, and that it's a big deal. You don't want to work with somebody who works at a nonprofit who's just in it for the wrong reasons, and that's what keeps a lot of people, once they're in our meeting, in our committee, and they see, like, the planning and how passionate he is, both of us are about this, they're like, okay, this is important. This isn't just an
It's
event.
funny because we have our last committee, I had a Zoom meeting right before the event, and everybody knows, my style, right? I'm very direct. I'm, passionate. So I told them, hey, I apologize in advance, okay? If I sound very strict or something that's very dry, I apologize because I'm in the zone right now. I'm in the zone. I'm planning something. Nothing's going to be perfect, but we aim to be perfect. If we don't aim to be perfect, you didn't do a good job.
Right.
Okay, because the people that show up, they're going to think it was perfect. But we know the truth, right?
Right.
So I tell the committee, hey, I apologize in advance if I become, if I sound rude or anything, but I'm just in the zone. This is my expectations, okay? This is Group A, you gotta have this duty. Group B, you have this duty. Please execute, So going back, it's like I'm very, very, very strict on the day of because I want everything to be perfect. Obviously, nothing's going to be perfect, but as long as I know that AV Boga aimed for that perfection.
I'm always kind of calming people down, like he's not mad at you.
Yeah, exactly.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of you guys, I know you gave the email a couple of times, okay? Is there a website? Is there an email or, a phone number? Or
our website is avboga, avboga.org. And then our phone number?
Our phone number is 661-627-8275, I believe. Or you can just check out our AV Boga Instagram, send a message there, or the AV Boga Facebook. I'm behind the Facebook, he's behind the Instagram. So, send us a message and we'll connect you.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you guys again for being here.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
And we'll see you around town at the next event.
Definitely.
Our next event, I'm going to put a little plug here, is Trunk or Treat.
I saw that.
Okay.
I saw that. Your 9th.
Yeah, it's our 9th annual
Good
event.
job.
You guys have put that on?
Yes, we've been doing it.
9 years.
Right here at Ponce Square, right?
It's going to be here at Poncetlan Square. It's our 9th annual Trunk or Treat event. It's for the Sheriff's Department. I'm involved with the Sheriffs, with the Palmdale Sheriff's Boosters. My 3rd year as a president with the Palmdale Sheriff's Boosters. So it's 100% of the proceeds goes to the Sheriff's Department. We don't keep a penny, we don't keep a dime. It's a very fun community event. We get thousands of people, probably more than we did at the Taco Festival. And, it's for the kids, and, it's a great event. So our next event is October 27th, 2024.
And last year,
we were there.
We ran out of candy fast.
That's right.
We were rookies, I'm like, oh.
That's right.
I had no
So
idea.
if you guys are doing it, bring extra candy.
I tell everyone, hey, go out there and buy your candy now. And when you think you bought too much candy,
Buy more.
buy some more.
Buy some more.
Okay, because you will run out of candy, and you got to get stingy. You got to
Yes.
give one candy at a time.
Yes.
You know, you one candy
You'll
at
see
a
the
time.
same Spider-Man over and over.
He'll come. Yes. All right, guys. Well, again, thanks for being
No,
here. I
thank you,
appreciate you
George.
guys,
Thank you.
and then
Appreciate you.
we'll see you around town.
Definitely. Thank you.